So when we're making a project, we want to make sure we keep everything nice and tidy. So we're going to make some folders here in the project panel when we import stuff in. You can do this straight away, you can do it after you've imported the footage, it doesn't matter. But what these folders are called bins. So you can right click in the panel here and click new bin. So let's just right click and click new bin. And we'll name this clips. You can name this whatever you like, videos, clips. You might have one for image sequences, you might have one for videos. So I'm just going to make just the two for now. So I'm going to click a new one and we're going to make sound. I've got a few sound effects for this as well. So there we have two of our folders, two bins. So now I'm going to import all my clips and media. So I'm going to right click in here. Sorry, I'm going to come to File, Import, or I can double click in here, which will take me as well. And finally, I can do Control I or Command I on Mac to come to the Import Finder window as well. I've put all my stuff in a neat folder as well, so I'm just going to select all these. I've got like a few clips and some sound effects I've just downloaded from. Okay, so you can view this in a few different ways. You can have it in the kind of thumbnail section, so you can see what the clips are roughly before you bring them in. Other than this, you can add it in a list format, which might be slightly easier. You can kind of rearrange if you want to see it all. So the first thing I'm going to do is just select all the sounds. I know these are sounds because they've got the little wave icon next to them, and these got the kind of purple film roll next to them as well. But these also tell me they have sound and video because they've got both icons over each other. So I'm just going to move them in the clips. I'm going to move these in the sounds. So that keeps it nice and tidy and you know where to find everything. You can actually do subfolds as well, so you can go sub bins. And for example, you could have these in different shots or different scenes. So scene 1, for example, if you've got quite a big project, say these certain clips are just for scene 1, they can just go in there. But that's not the case for this today, so I'm going to keep them all here. Okay, so now we need to make a sequence. So we've got our project. Now a sequence is when it's a bit like a composition in After Effects, if that makes sense. So I can either start this by dragging my first clip onto the timeline. Now this automatically matches the settings from your clip. So I think this particular clip was 720. If I just have a look here, got the frame rate, how long the duration is, and a few more details. Yes, so the video info here, there's 1280 by 720, so it's baby HD. So now this whole clip will be the same. So just pull that back over there. And if we want to play this through, actually before I actually import that in, I could have double clicked it. And it appears in the source window, so I can flick through, scrub through, and decide if I just want to take a little bit of this, or if I want to take the whole thing. So for example, we've got some in and out markers here. Now the hotkeys are really simple as well, so it's I and O, which is next to each other on the keyboard. So say I just want this part here before it cuts to the character's face. I can use the arrows on the keyboard just to make sure I get precisely which bit I want, so the left and right arrows. And if I press O on the keyboard, that'll be the out marker. Let's just say I want to just crop it from there. I'll click I on the keyboard. Now I've made a selection of this area. I'm not going to want the audio from this. It does come with audio, but instead I can just drag over the video only, or I could do audio only if I wanted to, but today it's for this section it's going to be the video only. So I'm going to drag that over into the timeline, and you can see I've just got the clip. And just to show you a bit more, the timeline split up into two sections. We've got audio below and video above. So you can, on each kind of layer, we could call it, which track, the V1 stands for video 1, we've got audio 1 there, so you know if it's an audio layer or it's a video. So I'm actually going to delete that because I don't want to bring the whole clip in anyway, so I can just put this on video 1, and to play that back I just press spacebar on the keyboard. And I can just kind of make that bigger. Probably easiest just to put it to fit. It'll fit the window nicely. It's always nice to have quite big. This one maybe a bit smaller because you're just kind of flicking through, just checking what you want. So continue to bring our clips in. So I'm going to take a look at my car chase 2 shot. I can either carry on selecting just the little bits that I want, or in this case I'm just going to bring in all my clips into the timeline. Now these do come in with audio, which I don't really need anymore because it's not going to kind of match up. So what I'm going to do is select all the clips, right click, and I can unlink the audio so they become two separate things, and I can easily just delete them as well. So now I have all my clips on the timeline. I can also carry on editing. So for this we're going to be using the razor tool and the selection tool. So C and V on the keyboard, they're conveniently placed next to each other so you can get speedy with your editing. So I'm going to press the C key for the razor tool, and I can simply just scroll through, and I can use the arrows when they need to be more precise again, and I can make a slice on there. And quickly hitting V on the keyboard, say I want to take that bit out, so V, I can then delete, and now I'm left with a gap which I don't want, so I can right click in the middle there and ripple delete, which is the same as grabbing all the media beforehand and bunching it back together. But it's easier because sometimes you may be like zoomed right in on the timeline, you don't have to keep kind of zooming out. You can just right click, ripple delete. And the beauty of this, you can just kind of chop, decide things. If I need to swap them around, I can just quickly swap them around like this. If things aren't quite working how I want, I can continue to potentially just drag the clip back, which is the same as cutting it, but it's just if you wanted to maybe take some time off the end of each clip, just a bit of a quicker way, and ripple delete again. Again, I'm hitting spacebar to play back the audio, the video. So at this point I can navigate back to upper level, so I can come up a level here, just to show you a bit more how you navigate through the project window here. So I've double clicked in the clips folder, I can come out by hitting this, and then I've got the sound effects folder again. So in here I've just got a few like car noises, car sounds. So let's have a look at this one. So this one's got a bit of a horn, just kind of traffic noise. And look, some police sirens. This is an example I wanted to have a look at because a lot of it isn't needed. I just need it where I've got this kind of car coming past. So I can see definitely which bit I need because where the kind of audio levels peak. Again, I can use these two functions here or in and out of the iron on the keyboard. I'm just going to have a look at where I actually want to put these. So it's here where the car screeches around the corner. I'm just going to bring that audio underneath. Doesn't quite match up, so I can zoom in, maybe just bring it a bit further forward. That's better. So I can continue to bring more audio in the next part. I'm going to talk a bit more about audio and how you can maybe change the audio levels, so the kind of volume, and maybe chopping it up a bit more, and actually kind of animating the volume as well. So in some cases where you need it to go louder and then go quieter in certain places. So an example of this is I've got some police sirens, and if I just double click on the police sirens, I can play them back here and just preview them. And in this particular one, I've got a shot where the police come around the corner where I want it to be a bit quieter, and then I come down here, I want it to be much louder. So let's just bring in the audio, the police audio. Oh, this might be a bit longer than I need it, so I can always just need to drag it in. So I can always just clip it at the end anyway. So I'm just going to clip off the start. And you'll notice it just kind of snaps into place for each kind of clip there. So I want this to start quieter and then get a bit louder as I go. Now I'm actually gonna, I can actually just cut it because I know I do cut the camera here. No, it's okay. So to expand the audio waves, so you can see the kind of up and down more clearly, I can just expand the particular audio track here, and you can see the waves a bit more clearly. You can see a little bar, which you can just drag up and down, which changes the decibel. So you can see it here, it's much quieter now. If I put it all the way down, it's even more quieter. So I'm going to start this relatively quiet. And what I can use here is the pen tool, which adds I guess kind of a keyframe on it. So once you click on it, you get the little blue diamond there. If I just zoom in a bit more, and I'm just going to scroll along. Just show you an example of how I can lift it up there, and you can see it's going to increase as it gets closer. So I'm going to do it to about here. I'm actually going to drag this along because I want it to happen quite suddenly actually. So it's got like a distant siren and then gets louder again as the car comes towards me. So you can add multiple keyframes here. So let's see how this looks. So once that comes into shot, maybe I'll get it to be even louder. Just full volume there now. And then once it's out of shot, and obviously we're inside the car, we can just quickly bring it quite low again. So I just need to move them both there. there you have how we can kind of keyframe audio higher and lower. So I'll then continue to add more kind of layers of audio. I would then maybe put a track underneath, just a kind of intense kind of car chase track maybe, and so on and things like that. A few more sound effects of maybe cars tires screeching and things like that. In fact, have I got a car tire screeching? Oh, I have it, so let's just put this in for a bit more depth to the shot here. Just going to collapse that a bit. I'm just going to lift this up a bit so I can see more of my tracks. I want to just make that a bit smaller now I've done it, so it doesn't really matter which order these are in. It's kind of up to you, personal preference. So now we've got a lot going on now. Loads of atmospheric sounds in now. We've got a car screeching, we've got sirens. I could even add an extra screech in there, so that as the police car comes around, actually, we can layer up more if we want. So let's just, we could actually, just to make it easier, I'm going to put them down again. Then if you hold down Alt, you can copy this. Just going to offset it a bit for that one coming around the corner. Let's go see how it goes now. So I've got, starting to really kind of build up my little soundscape now. So that's just an example how you can layer stuff up. So the next video we'll start having a look at how we can add some maybe effects and transitions on